So Imani Ibeji right here from Swan Down. We're here with.
Yep, my name is Dr. Oye Owolewa. I'm the U.S. representative of Washington, D.C.
Some people, or there's this narrative that's built up that there is an attack or an attack on democracy. Do you find that to be true? And if it is true, what part do government relation professionals play in that?
Absolutely. Right now there are a lot of elected officials, community organizers, really talking about this new incoming Trump administration being an attack on democracy. You're seeing somebody who is cutting off U.S. aid without congressional approval, laying off workers for no cause, and really creating a lot of stress for the American people. Government relations professionals are really critical. Like, as I mentioned earlier, not a lot of elected officials have great expertise. It's certified in specific areas like healthcare, housing, whatnot. So we need folks who are experts in these situations. We need lobbyists who have great relationships with the community and business owners to really make sure that every piece of legislation that's passed is the right one for the community. And we also need feedback and education. We're not the smartest people in the room oftentimes, but we can lean on those who are. So we see a lot of GRPs, government relation professionals, as key ingredients to making sure that our legislation is implemented to the perfection that needs to be.
That's a perfect segue. What is your take on the dissolving almost of USAID?
As a Nigerian American, as a child of immigrants, I understand the importance of aid. It's soft diplomacy. Mm-hmm. Keeping the entire world stable is a really good way of keeping migration to this country low. I mean, my parents came to the United States for educational reasons, but there are a lot of other people who come here because of conflict in their own areas. So a lot of violence is created from a lack of money, and creating opportunities, creating employment situations, creating healthcare needs, like providing HIV, AIDS medication in sub-Saharan Africa is critical. These diseases don't have borders. They don't have passports. They can go anywhere. And we really want to make sure that we understand that we're all connected together. When we look at the whole pandemic situation, it feels like 10 years ago, but it's really only 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. It spread because people move around. Here's a disease that crossed over continents, went over water spaces, and it's really important to let people know that we are one planet. So the cutting of USAID, bringing it back, the loss of jobs, people kind of being brought back, it's created a lot of pain and dysfunction in this country that was quite unnecessary.
So last question here. So with diversity, equity, and inclusion programs being, taken away, do you feel as if it will have an actual impact on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the U.S. as a whole, right?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you're having this this media platform to even discuss these issues. We understand why DEI is important. There are groups of people, regardless of race or background, that is not being included in the workforce, in higher management. People hire folks that they relate to, regardless of what your skin color is. If you're from an area, you meet someone that's from the area, you get a leg up. And we want to make opportunities for those who otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity to really shine. We're talking about redlining, we're talking about slavery, we're talking about Jim Crow. There are real pain going to certain communities, especially African American communities, that can't just be negated, can't just be looked over. There are people who were alive when the Board of Education was decided. That's 70 years old. That's not a long time ago.
Not a long time.
That's not a long time. And when you look at the concentration of wealth, they don't look like us all the time. And even when they do look like us, they can't hire everybody. So giving somebody that hand up, not a handout, is critical. But at the same time, when we see the attacks on Black Lives Matter and things like that, the government didn't create that. We created that. The government didn't create Black history. We created Black history. It is not just a 28-day thing. It's an everyday thing. Mm-hmm. So having platforms like yourself that allow us to tell our own stories and our own voices is critical. Having Black-owned media is important because I can keep you accountable, Imani, in ways I may not be able to keep other people accountable.
Right.
Because you understand me. Mm-hmm. We may have just met today, but you understand that we have shared experiences. And it's really critical that we protect that. And when the government doesn't step to do so, we as a community to do so. And it doesn't just mean black viewership for black-owned media. It means all viewers for black-owned media because you provide us an opportunity to be heard. And when the Washington Post and all those big publications reach out to us and discover us, it's really because you discovered us. You gave us an opportunity. The Roland Martins, the Washington Informers, they create the opportunities for us to shine. And that's why these conversations are so important. DEI wasn't created by the government. You guys created it.
Phenomenal. All right. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Monty. Thank you.